Holocaust is the result of the anti-Semitism coming from Nazi Germany and from its leader, Adolf Hitler. Happening between 1933 and 1945, so the World War II, the Nazi Germany murdered 6 million Jewish women, men, and children across German-occupied Europe. To use the word killing is an understatement for the 6 million innocent souls, as they have wished death every second of their lives to be free from the unspeakable things that were done. After expelling the Jews from Germany, the Nazis carried out pogroms all over the country. Jewish synagogues, establishments, and houses were destroyed, resulting in imprisonment in concentration camps. There were the Jews starved, tortured, in gas chambers, labor, and extermination camps. Therefore, I do not even have to say that the conditions of living were simply inhumane and barbaric. But why? Why did Hitler and his companions did something so diabolical and tyrannical, dehumanizing humans by calling them by the number stamped on their arms, starving them, torturing them? The reason was hatred. The hatred that Nazis had for the Jews was incomprehensible. The main philosophy of Nazi ideology was anti-Semitism, and the core of the ideology stemmed from hatred and discrimination. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I can feel the sufferings of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again, said a Holocaust survivor in her diaries. She was a Jewish girl whose diaries about her and her family's 2-year-long hiding during the Hitler regime and the German occupation of the Netherlands became one of the biggest classics of world literature. These words belong to a girl whose family was oppressed and forced to deport. Her name was Anne Frank. She died at age 16 in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp near Hanover because of an epidemic, yet throughout her life, she still believed in people and their hearts. Friends searching the hiding place found her diary. Anne wanted to become a journalist, and so her father published her diary, The Diary of a Young Girl, in June 1947 to honor her memory and to raise awareness of the dangers of racism and discrimination. Her diary lives on to tell the story of the groups persecuted by the Nazis and has been translated into 70 languages and has been adapted for stage and screen. After such stories, one wonders how the Nazis justified being equal and being human. This brings us to the concept of Völkisch equality. It's a deceptive approach that Nazis used to manipulate and gaslight the Nazi Germany citizens to control its territories during World War II, which entitled full legal rights to German blood and drastically excluded the so-called inferiors, so the non-Germans and the Jews. Nazism did not accept the universal equality of humankind. They did, however, accept equality amongst the master race, which was, again, by their perspective, German blood. While equality means the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, or opportunities, how can equality be a luxury that's not for everyone? This deceptive and manipulative projection of equality that Nazis use really defines equality into meaning discrimination and inequality, basically whitewashing anti-Semitism. Now I'm going to talk about something that you might rightly view as irrelevant: epigenetic inheritance. This particular finding stems from how one's epigenetic tags and genes are inherited down to their offspring. Epigenetics basically reveals how behaviors and environment may cause alterations within the function of our genes. The point where epigenetic alterations differ from genetic alterations is that epigenetic alterations do not change one DNA sequence and are reversible, unlike genetic alterations. It just changes how our body expresses our genes. It doesn't change the genes themselves. To give an example, a mom goes through trauma of drowning, which affects her gene expression and her genetic control system, resulting in the forming of epigenetic tags, which she inherits down to her offspring, and her child may be born with a tendency of drowning fear. And because it is not a gene that is imprinted on our DNA, one can reverse the inherited trauma and fear. Now Holocaust and epigenetics may hopefully seem more relevant. Nazis actually did not only stamp numbers on people's arms, they at the same time stamped people's futures. The Holocaust being an enormous trauma, a research team at New York's Mount Sinai Hospital found out after the examination of Holocaust survivors and their offspring that their likelihood of getting PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder, were far more higher than the Jews who were not living in Europe during the Holocaust, meaning they have never witnessed it. The researchers found epigenetic tags on the very same gene when they examined Holocaust survivors and their offspring, proving that the Holocaust affected the children, grandchildren, and the further generations of the millions of Jewish people who experienced the genocide. Now, think about your fears, your traumas, your troubles. Think about yourself. Take a look back into the past. Try to find out whose life you're living. Maybe the answers to your troubles lie within your genes. Finally, I would like to conclude my speech with this quote by John Dewey. Any man's death diminishes me, because I'm involved in mankind, and never sent to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Thank you.